Are you a swing trader or a day trader? The real question is what works best for you. Let's find out about that in this video. Listen, pros and cons of swing trading are a lot of them, okay? It requires a lot less time sitting at the computer every day, okay? With swing trading, we're really looking for multi-day, multi-week, even sometimes multi-month moves. So what we do is we actually identify, higher quality stocks, as I like to say. Now we'll get into day trading in a second. Many of you might know, maybe you don't know. Penny stocks, they move fast, they pull back really fast. So you really got to be kind of dialed in, staring at your computer or staring at your phone. If you know the right swing trades to look for, these are stocks that we're looking to kind of join the trend, okay? The trend is your friend, as many of you know. Strong stocks breaking out on the daily chart with a high likelihood of continuation over days and weeks. Now, downside is you're not going to make 100% in a day like you can on some day trades. Now, if you know what to look for on these trades, you can make 100%, but might be days or weeks. But that kind of comes with benefits. These stocks don't make wacky moves when you're in the bathroom or picking up your kids or walking away from the computer. They trend slower, which allows you to also sleep at night. Okay, a lot of these stocks aren't crazy active in pre-market, so you don't have to get up and monitor your positions at 4 a.m. like you do have with penny stocks. You can just kind of set alerts or even trailing stops, okay? Don't use trailing stops in day trades, especially penny stocks. If you've ever done that, a lot of times your stop gets blown through. You think you're out of the stock and you're not out of the stock. I mean, it can get really ugly. With these less volatile stocks, you can set that order, check in on it a couple times a day, even create alerts. So if the stock just continues to trend, no problem. You stay in it, you let the trade work. If it pulls back to your stop, you get an alert, you're actually out of the trade. So it makes it way less stress. And really, I think you can day trade as a part-time trader, 100%. But if you're really busy, or like I like to think of jobs where you have to be locked in. Like it always comes to mind, like I have some traders that I mentor that are like truck drivers, okay? If you're driving a 50,000 pound vehicle down the road, I really don't want you day trading, okay? Now when you're at home, you're off for a few days, then you day trade. But if you're operating a heavy piece of machinery or you have a high, basically contact job where you can't just pull out your phone and do it, swing trading's for you, but do both when you have time. So I really think it's the best strategy for part-time traders because you don't have to constantly monitor positions. You don't have to sit there at the computer all the time. And at the end of the day, fewer trades. Like the one thing with day trading, we're quick in and out. Maybe you're making 2 trades a day, maybe you're making 10 trades a day, and it just creates a lot of, if you have a broker that still has fees, most of them don't, but if you do have a broker, you can crank up a lot of fees in day trading. With swing trade, if you're in once, out a few days later, a few weeks later, transaction costs, commission fees, all of that just way lower. Now let's kind of talk about some of the bad parts, some of the cons of swing trading. It is a little time consuming at the end of the day. You do have to do a lot of research because we are actually looking to hold these stocks for days and weeks. So you need to know if there's a chance of a dilution. You need to check the financial position of the stocks. You need to be aware of, catalysts, like maybe they're speaking at an event, maybe they have an earnings date. So you do have to do a little bit more due diligence. But the plus side is all of that can be done off hours as well. Like you can do all of this early in the morning, in the or at night when you're home. It takes some work, but you can do it without having to be like locked in like with a day trade. Other downside, patience. I'm a day trader at heart. I do swing trade as well. But at the end of the day, a lot of you, and I know from personal experience, sometimes I can get a little frustrated when this stock isn't going anywhere. But if you understand the trend, you know how to trade these, you can just chill out and let it work. And then also, something you can do if you need to feed that fix, if you're jonesing for some action, something that I recommend people do is have 2 accounts. Have a day trade account, have a swing trade account. That way, when you are looking at your charts, day trading, kind of locked in, you can just kind of leave those swing trades alone and just leave them in that account. And if the stop doesn't get hit, so be it, okay? And then if you need a real-time price update, you can do that in your day trade account on your platform, etc. Now, again, downside is it takes time. Okay, these trades don't double in a day, so that's the drawback. Now, safer stocks, less likely of getting stuck in a dilution, less stress, less time. I mean, at the end of the day, takes a little longer to profit, but you don't have to stare at them all day long either. So you kind of choose your level of engagement at the end of the day. Like if you're only have a couple hours, like at night or in the morning, you can't stare at the computer all day long, so it's worth it to wait a little longer. Now, if you know the exact recipe to look for, you can still crush it on the gains. We've seen recent swing trades 100% in a couple days, 200% in a couple days by knowing exactly what to look for. So let's move on to day trading, okay? So listen, flat out, many of you probably already know this, one of the biggest benefits is quick profit opportunities is sometimes in hours, sometimes in minutes, sometimes literally seconds, okay? So, but you have to understand that extreme volatility to the upside, which we want, that isn't, it's a double-edged sword, as they say, okay? That blade of volatility cuts both ways. So if you want to trade stocks with huge upside potential, you have to be ready to take profits because they pull back hard, okay? But at the end of the day, nothing is for free. If you want huge upside potential, you got to be ready to take those profits because they pull back just as hard as they go up. It's like gravity, okay? If you shoot a bullet in the air, well, once the momentum runs out, it comes back down really fast. So if you can be disciplined in your trade plans, have good profit goals, and not try and nail the top. That's where a lot of people get in trouble. They're up 30, 40, 50, 80, 90, 100%, start getting greedy, they overstay, and then that dump comes and they give back all their profits. Have a trade plan before you enter, have a profit expectation, and guess what? If the stock goes higher, so be it. And when I talk about this double-edged sword of volatility, one of my favorite trading quotes is, especially when it comes to day trading, write this one down, put it on your wall. And the quote is, I'd rather be wishing I was in versus wishing I was out. One more time. I'd rather be wishing I was in, I sold for 50% and that stock went higher, versus getting greedy, giving back all my profits, and even, and some of you might have done this, turn a big winner into a loser. And at that point, I'm thinking, man, I wish I was out, wish I would have sold an hour ago. So great quote for day trading. Now, the high volatility creates frequent opportunities. With swing trades, we usually have one a day, okay? Some days, none, but there are, consistently opportunities. Great thing with penny stocks, every day, there's a small handful of stocks that make epic moves. So that's why it's so important to just take realistic goals. Don't try and get rich in one day so you're not wishing you were out. If you just nail and bail, as we say, and you can literally repeat that every day, because every day there's half a dozen of these stocks that run big time. So that high volatility creates frequent opportunities. Now the cons, okay, and I kind of touched on this earlier, the drawback to day trading is you really need to be locked in, constant focus. Bathroom breaks might have to wait while you're in a trade, okay? Because you have to, when that stock's rocketing higher, you got to be ready to take that exit, because you take that bathroom break and all of a sudden you come back minutes later and you were looking at a big trade and now you're looking at break even or puny profits, etc. So needs focus. You need to be day trading when you have the time to monitor those positions. Listen, I've made this mistake. Like I get in a day trade, wife calls, needs me to go pick up the kids or something, and I'm like, hey, it's looking good, I'm just gonna let it go. And there's been times I'm like checking it from the road and I'm like, oh, you idiot, you should have just took it off, not deal with the stress, etc. So when you're day trading, stay locked in, have your data on, be managing those positions. Other thing, again, most brokers are commission free, but if you are at a broker that's not commission free, man, those transaction costs can really start to add up. But if you are at a commission broker, I'd tell you, look at some of them that don't have it anymore, because a lot of you might have a brokerage account from years ago and you're still paying commissions. There's a lot of great free brokers out there, even a lot of the major ones. So if you are paying those fees, get a different broker, okay? Last thing is, it's emotionally demanding and fast paced. It's not for everyone, okay? If you deal well with pressure, if you don't have a problem with big swings in P&Ls, that's good. If it like really upsets you to see these, wild swings, it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. And that's why I love swing trading, because one of the reasons I teach that strategy is so much is a lot of people will come to day trading because they see the potential, and then they just kind of find out, wow, this is a little too much of an emotional roller coaster for me. So if you have no problem with that, high pressure environments, wild swings in stock prices, wild swings in your P&L, and you can manage that, then do day trade away, okay? So that being said, you have to assess which strategy suits your personality and your schedule, okay? And be honest with yourself. Like, think about this. If high pressure really starts happening and like the crazy things are going on, do I close in? Do I get scared, or do I embrace that volatility and embrace that? Then day trading's for you. If you've tried it and you still want to make money in the market, swing trading's great. Less emotional roller coaster, less volatility, just takes a little more patience. That's all it is, okay? Now, last thing I will mention is I do both, okay? My standpoint is if I can capitalize on a penny stock that goes from $1 to $2, in 15 minutes, and I can also capitalize on a $10 stock that goes from 10 to 20 in 2 weeks, why not do both? Okay, like that's my approach, and that's what I tell people, especially if you are, say, retired, maybe you have a work from home job where you're not like really engaged that much. We know nobody's actually working from home. Hey, but anyway, if you have the time, do both. So in closing, what's your trading style? Day trading, swing trading, or both? Let me know below. Now, if you've done one of them, maybe neither of them, etc., definitely hit that link below. It'll take you over to a page that explains everything that I do. I teach swing trading, I teach day trading. So if you want to explore one, maybe you're doing one, you're interested in the other, or you've never traded and you want to check out both, you can hit that link. I break it all down for you, explaining the differences, strategies, etc. Check it out, and we'll see you over there.